What's going on, guys? Welcome back to NFL Trading Room. Today, it is Superlative Day. We're going to go over the 2026 NFL Draft Superlatives. In my opinion, we've got a couple of different categories. Basically, we'll look at the category. I'll tell you if I have some honorable mentions for that category, and then we'll kind of crown that category, if you will. But we're just going to go ahead and get started. And before we get started, I do want to mention a lot of these guys could fit into different categories on this list. I'm kind of implementing a rule where I can't place a guy twice. So I'm really looking at their best trait and trying to place them there. So just wanted to preface with that before we hop into the list. Starting off with the fastest player in this class. This is not based on 40 times, not worried about any testing numbers. This is purely on tape. And there was really no competition for this one, in my opinion. It is Mississippi State wide receiver Brennan Thompson. Thompson is a guy that I'm much higher on the consensus, believe he's in my top 50 as it stands right now, maybe in the 41 to 43 range, somewhere in there. He is very undersized, about 5'9", 175 pounds ish, somewhere around that range. But man, he can absolutely fly. Not sure what he ran in his 40 time. I'm sure it was in the low 4.3s, if not high 4.2s. But man, you see it on tape. He's able to stack corners vertically, really get past them down the field, and just win down the field. I think if Mississippi State had better quarterback play, Brennan Thompson would be a guy that we are talking about a lot more in this cycle. Really excited to see where he ends up in the draft and what that team can do with his speed to utilize him, not just down the field, but also in the screen game, get him a little yards after the catch, get him the ball just in a variety of ways to let him use that speed to hurt defenses. Next up, we have the shiftiest player, and I've got one honorable mention here. That's Texas A&M wide receiver Casey Concepcion, but the winner of this category for me is Notre Dame running back Jeremiah Love. Jeremiah Love is just so quick side to side. He's so twitchy, changing directions. That's really what this category is all about. It's just how quick are you able to change directions? How are you able to accelerate out of your breaks? How many cuts can you make kind of in sequential order? Jeremiah Love can do it all. He's very quick out of each break that he makes, accelerates quickly, gets to his top speed very fast when he does change direction. And he's got a variety of ways to be able to change direction. He's got the spin move that he's broken out, the jump cut. He can really do it all in terms of changing direction. And that really creates a lot of the yards after contact that you see from him. And that's how he's also able to break away a lot of those long runs along with his very good speed. So Jeremiah Love is the shiftiest player in this class, in my opinion. Next up, the smartest player in this class. Not looking at GPAs here. We're not talking academic smart, though. I'm sure these guys did well in the classroom. This is purely on the field. What's their football IQ look like? How good are they in their assignments? How good are they passing off assignments? Talking in coverage there for defensive players. To me, it's two Ohio State guys that I marked down. My honorable mention is Ohio State linebacker Sonny Styles. For y'all that know that he's my number one player in this class, my only blue chip grade. But I did think that Ohio State safety Caleb Downs, to me, was just overall the smartest player in this class. I don't remember a single time watching Caleb Downs where he missed an assignment. Maybe once or twice, but he just was always in the right place at the right time, making the correct reaction in his assignment, whether that was at deep safety in the box, in the slot, and combine that with the other pieces of his skill set. I really like Caleb Downs. I believe he's top 5 on my board right now, which he should be. Or, I mean, he is for most everyone that covers the draft. But to me, Caleb Downs just slightly edges out Sonny Styles for the smartest player in this class. The next one is a fun one, the strongest player in this class. A lot of contenders, some honorable mentions that I narrowed it down to. You've got Texas Tech defensive tackle Lee Hunter, very strong individual. Missouri linebacker Josiah Trotter, that dude's got like grenades on his hands. The amount of pop that he has when he takes on blocks is crazy. And then Ohio State linebacker / edge Arvo Reese may be pound for pound the strongest player in this class, but just edging him out is yet another Ohio State defender. It is Ohio State defensive tackle Caden McDonald. I really can't remember. I can probably count on one hand how many times he got moved in the run game. This dude is stout. He's able to lock out offensive linemen with his hands and get extended and shed and make plays on the ball carrier. and he holds up very well against double teams. He's able to really get low, anchor his heels in, and hold that point of attack when taking on multiple blockers, which is just very impressive. And there are times as well where it's not just withstanding that strength coming against him. He's also popping into the backfield, exploding into the backfield with his hand punch, and creating displacement in that fashion as well. So Caden McDonald to me is just he's a complete ball of strength. Very, very strong player. Really, really fun to watch at that nose tackle position. Quick break in the list. If you guys wouldn't mind to go down below, drop a like, drop a comment, make sure you subscribe to the channel. That will let us know that you're enjoying the content. We'll continue to bring draft content like this to you throughout the draft season. We're getting close to the 2026 draft. Really excited for that. Make sure you stick around this summer. We may have some content coming your way as well with summer scouting. So make sure you stay tuned to the channel. All right, next category. This might be the most fun category. I'm tabbing this the first guy off the bus category. Basically, if we all know kind of the adage, like we see a massive football player and we're like, yeah, that's the first guy off the bus kind of guy, the guy you send off the bus first to kind of intimidate the other team. A lot of guys in this class that can take this crown. Some of the honorable mentions I had: Oregon guard Emmanuel Pregnon, just an absolute monster. Alabama offensive tackle Caden Proctor, 6'7", 350 plus pounds, long arms. He's got it all. Texas A&M offensive tackle Demetrius Crowner, kind of the same thing, just built really well as that offensive tackle. Very, very imposing individual. And then I threw in Missouri edge Zion Young. Zion Young is just absolutely jacked. He's very strong. He's got long arms. He just looks the part. The guy that I went with though is Florida defensive tackle Caleb Banks. I mean, this dude is 6'6", 330 pounds, really long arms. But aside of that, he's very twitchy. He's just a very intimidating player to face when he's at full health. Um, really wish that he was able to stay healthy in 2025. He had those runs of injuries that held him to just 3 games in 2025, and he re-aggravated it during the draft process. So that won't knock him down my personal board, but I'm going to understand that that's going to knock him down probably in the draft. Probably not going to be a first rounder in this class, even though he's still a top 20 player in my opinion. But he's definitely a guy that you send off the bus as the first player, kind of intimidate the other team. He's that type of player. Next up, it's the biggest dog category. So if you're noticing a trend with a lot of these categories, fastest player, you're thinking skill position. Same thing with the shiftiest player, smartest player, probably a second level defender, second or third level defender, strongest player, lots of defensive tackles, linebackers, edge rushers, first guy off the bus, kind of the same thing, including the offensive line. But to me, a lot of the dogs on the field are in that defensive backfield, and there are a couple that I marked down here. My honorable mention is going to be Tennessee cornerback Colton Hood. That dude would lock you down, and he'd let you know about it. He wasn't afraid to hit. He would tackle well, supported in the run game, all of that. But edging him out to me is Indiana cornerback D'Angelo Ponce. I've got him graded as a nickel corner because his run defense is unbelievable on tape. One of the best run defending corners I've ever scouted. And it's not he's 5'9", 170 pounds. You have to place him at nickel. I don't think that's the case. But with his mentality, with his run defense, with his playmaking ability, I want that guy as close to the ball and as involved on every play as he can possibly be. And I think putting him at nickel would give him the best opportunity to do that. But he is very physical as a tackler. He is physical taking on blocks. He didn't shy away from Markel Bell in that national title game, the Miami left tackle. Came around and definitely pancaked D'Angelo Pons, but Pons did not shy away from that contact. I just love the mentality that he plays with. He's an absolute headhunter at cornerback, which you don't see too often. Really love what he does with how passionate he is at the game of football. Next is a superlative for most fun to watch. This is basically just the prospects that I enjoyed watching the most. And I try to keep it short here because I do enjoy watching a lot of these guys. But a couple of honorable mentions that I marked down: Pittsburgh running back Desmond Reed. He's fun to me because the dude's like 5'6" and 150 pounds. He's probably going to last maybe 2 seasons on an NFL roster, but boy, is he fun to watch. He is extremely explosive, great athlete, a really, really good receiver out of the backfield. I think could carve out a role as like a Jarrett McKinnon type player, or even in the new kickoff return rules, could carve out a role there. Also, Arizona State offensive tackle Max Ihenokor. I didn't watch him in summer, but I came around to his tape around the time that they played Texas Tech. Was really, really impressed with him. Continued to be impressed with him in the process, and it seems like a lot of people have come around throughout the draft process. Feels like he's going to be a first round pick. Um, but the winner of this category to me, I've talked about it a million times. My favorite player in this class is Penn State guard Olajuwon Owane. Owane was the guy that I first watched in the summer, got to him just before summer scouting ended, and he was, I believe, my number 13th overall player, something like that, on my summer board. And he was in the 150s on the consensus board in the summer. And now that we're, a week and a half away ish from the draft, he is pretty much cemented as a first round pick, going to be the first interior offensive lineman off the board. Feels like in the top half of the first round at that. But really, really love watching Owane. Love what he does in the run game. Absolute displacer of defenders, moves defensive tackles from point A to point B, which you love to see, and is just an absolute dog in the pass game as well. With his hands, with his punch, able to lock in and use his grip strength to really limit defensive tackles and how they rush the passer. So anytime I turn on Awane's tape, I know I'm in for a good time. Love watching his tape. Now we get to the last category, which is most underrated. So you could kind of turn this my guys, but these are just guys that I've identified that some of them haven't heard anyone else talk about. Some of them are just way down the consensus board from what I think. The first one to me is Michigan Edge Derek Moore. He's a top 40 player for me. That was not my thought in the summer. I believe he had like a fifth to sixth round grade in the summer for me. But boy, I really, really enjoyed his 2025 tape. I really, really think he's worth taking a look at in the late first, early second portion of the draft. Next up is USC tight end Lake McCree. And this is a guy that I've seen no one else talk about. Now, he's got his deficiencies. He's not a great blocker. He's not as filled out as you may want to be. He's listed at 6'4", 250, but I would think he's closer to that 240 range. But even that he's not that good of a blocker, I do like a lot of the process that he takes in the blocking schemes. I think he times blocks well. USC ran a lot of split zone and insert blocks with him, and he timed them well. The pacing of them was nice to see. He's just not as strong as he needs to be able to do that at the next level. But I think the technique is there. The effort's definitely there. Technique could improve. The hands get a little wide, but even him as an athlete, he's able to run up the seam very well and create separation, like what he can do changing directions at the top of the route. I think he's a really, really underrated prospect that if you haven't turned on his tape, I think you need to. Next is North Dakota State quarterback Cole Payton. Now, he was very underrated back in the October range. People started to pick up a little bit more on him, but I'm still higher than some on him. Um, Easily a top five quarterback in this class, no doubt about it, in my opinion. Arguably top three. The lefty out of North Dakota State, he's built like a Mack truck. He's 6'3", 230. He's a really, really good runner. I think his arm strength is underrated. I think he's able to put touch on the ball down the field as well. The deep accuracy was maybe the most surprising thing to me. Now, he hasn't faced many tough defenses, and a lot of what North Dakota State ran wasn't that complex in terms of clicking from progression to progression, so that'll definitely be a learning curve for him, but excited to see where he lands and how he can develop. Last guy is Temple Edge Cameron Stewart. This is a DPR, designated pass rusher. He can absolutely get after the passer. Go turn on his Oklahoma tape. That's the first one that I watched of him. Really gave Oklahoma's offensive tackles fits in that game. Stout player, able to win in a variety of ways off the edge. But to me, the most underrated player in this class to me is Tennessee edge / interior defensive lineman Tyree West. Tyree West comes in at about 6'3", somewhere between 280 and 290 on the scale. And he looks like a tweener. He's got a bit of an interesting build when you watch him on tape, but he is quick. He is twitchy in the lower half. He's got some flexibility to him. He's got some power to him. He plays with good leverage. I just like his overall game in the run and the pass game. Now he is, an interesting player to kind of find a skill set for. Is he a 3-4 defensive end? Does he kick in to the interior on passing downs? That's kind of the role I would find for him. You could even bulk him up and just make him a full-time defensive tackle. But I really, really like what he does as an athlete. I like what he does with his hands. Just continued to improve every single season that he was in that Tennessee program. And I've got a third-round grade on him, and I haven't seen anyone else nearly that high on him. So he's definitely, I think, the most underrated player in this class. That does it for this Superlatives video. Thank you guys for watching. If you guys wouldn't mind to go down below, drop a like, drop a comment, make sure you subscribe to the channel. They'll let us know that you're enjoying the content. We'll continue to bring content like this to you. This has been NFL Trading Room, and we'll see you guys next time.